Well, hi guys, Mark here, and welcome to the channel. So it's been quite a few months now since I did my review on my newly acquired, or new to me anyway, Bsa C15. And what a glorious old bike this is. I'm absolutely loving it, riding it through the Dorset countryside like this. But there's a lot to tell you about this bike. It's proved to be a real labour of love, to say the least, and my wallet is now a little bit lighter, shall we say, as well. So anyway, let's pull over up here somewhere, and I'll tell you all about it and what I've done to it. Okay then guys, so update on my Bsa C15. Go and make yourself a cup of tea, and I'll tell you for the next 10-15 minutes what's been going on about this bike. So as you know, I did this first review on this, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago. I bought this, bought it from a chap up in Northamptonshire. Took a van up there, all looked really nice. Started up like 4th kick. It was a pretty good price, I think. £2,000 I paid for this. Nice condition, as you can see. Started about 4th kick from cold. I had a little test ride on it, absolutely fine. I don't know a lot about old bikes, if anything, so I just thought it'd be a nice old bike to kind of start off on. Anyway, so I brought it back to Poole, where I live in Dorset, and did about 100 miles on it. All sorts of types of riding, all around these sorts of roads. Really loving it. And then one day I was riding through Poole town centre, just over the new lifting bridge, for those that you know that, and it just basically just cut out on me like it had run out of fuel, just stopped dead. Luckily I was able just to push it up onto the pavement there, and after about 30 or more kicks it managed to start up again. Rode it back through Poole town centre, and guess what, it cut out again right on a busy junction right in front of Asda's there. Couldn't have been a worse place. So I managed to get off it and push it across the traffic lights onto like a walkway beside Poole Harbour there. I couldn't get it started at all, completely dead. So I had to wait for half an hour to get rescued by my friends at Poole Moto. They came and got me and took me home. So anyway, I got home, and the battery was completely flat on the bike, completely flat. And so I charged it up, and the bike started again fine. So I thought, this doesn't bode well. So I took it out again for about another 15 miles, just riding it locally, very locally, and it did the same thing again about 100 metres from my front door. Checked the battery, flat again. So doing a lot of research and taking it to my friend down the road, who's a very good mechanic. We diagnosed that the stator, the generator stator, was kaput, knackered. So what was basically happening is the bike's ignition, from what I believe, was running from the battery, so the stator was giving no electricity at all. So the charged up battery was kind of lasting for about 15 miles, then going flat, and then the bike would just cut out. There was no spark at all. Not even putting it onto the emergency ignition, it would start up at all. So anyway, so that was that. So I went to my friend, who kindly did all the work for me, and we ordered a load of parts. I bought a complete new stator 12-volt electric system for this bike, and he fitted all that for me. So it's got 12-volt LED lights now. It's got a new ignition key, all 12 volts, all new rewired, new stator, new 12-volt battery in there now. So that side of it was absolutely brilliant. So I thought, great, it's all fixed and we're good to go. So anyway, that was all good for, I don't know, about another couple of 100 miles or something like that. Riding it around, and I noticed the engine started getting a bit more noisy. I mean, it's always been a bit clattery and a bit rattly, it's the nature of the beast, but it seemed to be a bit more tappy from the top end, and it wasn't quite as powerful. It would sort of seem to struggle to get to sort of 50. So anyway, that went on for about another 100 miles, and in the end it just became more and more difficult to start in the morning, to the point where I couldn't even get it started at all. The only way I could start it was with a roller starter, you know, those roller starters that use big batteries, or a bump start down the road. And a definite loss in power as well. So anyway, again, it went to my friend, who took all of this apart, the whole lot, and it was diagnosed that it needed a lot of work on the engine here. The valve seats were worn, the valves were worn, the piston was worn, everything really in there was worn. So that was that. So it stayed with him for a good few weeks. So he took it all apart. So I ordered a new piston, plus 60, I think that's the 2 size up one from what I believe. It had already been rebored before, so plus 60 piston, new valves, new springs, new guides, everything like that. A local factory shop kind of they rebored it all for me at a very good price, £100 for a rebore. All the parts were about £200, I think. The full electrical system, the 12-volt electric system, was about £280. So anyway, 3 weeks later, I get a call from my friend saying that he's done all the work on the engine and it's all good to go. So anyway, so that's that really. So I've pretty much spent quite a lot of money. I don't know off the top of my head, sort of £700 or £800 on this bike with labour and parts and things. But anyway, it's got a new piston now, it's got a rebore, it's got new valves, new guides, new valve seats, new 12-volt electric system on it, and it starts and runs lovely now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will be it for a while. Obviously the gearbox, clutch and all of that hasn't been touched. He re-strobed the engine, set all the timing, did the valve timing, checked the valves and everything like that. That's all fine as well. So it's riding really well and I absolutely love it. He did say that the carb is a bit worn inside with all the parts, and it would benefit from a new carb which has the choke, the choke fitted to it. This doesn't have a choke, it just has the tickler. That would help it starting in the morning, but I can get it started in the morning, it just takes a few kicks sometimes. So anyway guys, that's what's been happening with the Bsa. Apart from that, it's a dream to ride. I love the noise of it. It's cheap to run, doesn't use much fuel, and I've got no plans to get rid of it. It's going to definitely stay in my garage. But all in all, a lovely old bike. Still drips a little bit of oil. There's a little tiny bit of a drip there. I've tightened all the nuts, so it's probably just the gaskets, isn't it? But yeah, so that's it really guys. So new 12-volt electric system, new stator, new piston, new valves, new guides, new seats. So all that's hopefully pretty good. I renewed the fuel tap was dripping fuel, so I did that myself. But yeah, it's a great bike, and I think if anyone's thinking about getting into classic bikes, it's a good sort of starting bike. But yeah, so if you wouldn't mind, please posting all your comments, what your experiences with these, and new pistons, rebores, that sort of thing that you've had to do with these. But I think the 12-volt electric systems definitely improved this bike now. It basically it wasn't charging the battery, and the battery seemed to be running the ignition system. So when the battery went flat, that was it. It would just conk out. So anyway, let's finish off, go for a little ride down here for a few miles, and then finish off there. All right, guys, see you in a bit. So back on the road now, guys. I love riding this bike around the country lanes. It just chugs along. So I'm just taking it steady now because it's sort of relatively, it's a new engine, new piston, new rebore, but definitely has a bit more, feels like it's a bit fitter, the engine, a little bit more power. But I love the sound of this engine. It just bellows away behind. You can't beat the sound of a long stroke single cylinder, in my opinion. Really nice. So I just sort of bimbling along now at 35. Got about, from here, about 5 miles to get to home. This is one of my sort of favourite little rides. Out of Poole. It's nice and quiet, away from all the traffic. But apart from the sort of the work and the money that I've had to spend on this bike, I'm not bothered because it's such a nice thing to own. I get so many comments on this bike So many people go, oh, a proper BSA, you know. And it's lovely to ride. It's not powerful, but for these sort of country rides it's really nice. So there you go, guys, the update on the BSA. Still going, been off the road for a couple of months, but nice now that I've got the reassurance of the 12-volt electrics now, and the new stator, so the battery's getting well and truly charged up now. I can actually now just get on it and go out for a ride, and hopefully it should be relatively trouble-free now for a while. So there you go, guys. Alright, please post your comments down below, give me a like and share, and subscribe as always, and I'll catch you soon for another two-wheeled review. Bye for now.